I don't know. Maybe we'll come to some conclusions, but this is more of a conversation about what is the true gospel? Does it change? Does the gospel change depending on who we're giving it to? In other words, if I take the gospel to the Jews, does it change because now all of a sudden I have to think of their covenant status or what the covenant obligations are for the Jews as opposed to the Gentiles? Now, I instantaneously want to go to Ephesians 2. One new man. You are made one new man. God has one body. All these things. I don't believe in bilateral ecclesiology. So the fact of the matter is in my mind, there's one gospel. And if you preach something besides that one gospel, you're preaching a false gospel. The real question that I have, and maybe this is one that I will pass over to you now. Let's start at the beginning. These guys, Ron Cantor and Michael Brown, they are the ones who are now kind of championing this TV show over in Israel. And it seems to me that their idea is this: let's just bring the gospel. How can we, how could it be wrong to bring the gospel to the Jewish people? What are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, there's many, many facets to this question, because you already have Christian presence in Israel, right? I mean, the Franciscans have been there. I think it's the Franciscans that oversee Capernaum, for example, and you have the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and the controversies between which church group should be authority over that. You have the Armenian quarter. So before you have these, in the last 100 years or less, where you have Messianic Jews going to the land of Israel, particularly mostly probably in the last 30 years or so, you already have Christians kind of arguing with each other.
Right.
And you have Jews seeing this. I mean, you've got Mormons have a presence in Israel. So
hang on just a sec. So what I hear you saying with that is obviously not every gospel that is preached in Israel is the true gospel. And so we can't.
So you already have a mess.
Yeah,
in other words, if you're looking for a unified message, the Messianics who come into this are just reflecting the problem that's within Christianity as a whole. And that has to do with authority. Who has the authority to say what the gospel is? Who has the authority to interpret what the New Testament says? And this is going to be an issue, because you're going to read, some of these groups that are in the land of Israel are kind of, in my view, they say they believe in Yeshua, but they're kind of trying to stay off certain radars. They're trying to navigate, and so as to not offend a certain, what they see probably as their host group, which is Orthodox Jews, for example. And so I wonder about that. I wonder about someone who's taking a missionary front in any land and saying, and trying not to be offensive and so I can understand it's a tightrope, it's a narrow path. There's no question about that.
Okay, hang on just a sec though. But you just actually brought up a very good point. The idea that I hear from, okay, now I don't, at this point in this show, I'm not going to take a side one way or the other. There's two things I want to bring up though. Number one is you have these guys over here that are saying, no, we don't want this TV show because the gospel isn't the right gospel.
It's not the right message.
It's not the right message, but it almost seems as though we don't want to offend the Jews. That's kind of one way,
Okay, this is really good. Are they saying we agree with you theologically, but we don't want to expose that message?
No.
Or is this two Christian interpretation traditions that's just now coming out that we really don't agree with each other?
I think it's the latter. But ultimately, the idea that
So in other words, it didn't take this movie for them to know they disagreed with each other.
I mean,
the movie is just, okay, you've gone too far.
Yeah, I mean, the TV show is just, you've gone too far, I think.
Yeah.
In other words, because these guys...
We've disagreed with you before, but we thought we would tolerate you. And now you've gone and done that, and now we have to be vocal that we disagree with you.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button and check out more videos from Messiah Matters.